What's going on, guys? J-Hoy back with you today. Welcome back to some Call of Duty Black Ops 4. We're going to have another event, which is unfortunately going to be the last event of the year. We got COD Champs for you. We got the prediction video, like always. And, of course, I'm recording before everything happens. However, depending on what my schedule is, may not give it up until after the event starts. But recording it before, so that way we don't know any of the results or how everyone's doing or any upsets or whatever. We don't know anything just yet. But let's start out. Pool A, headlined by none other than E United. Clear-cut #1 favorite for me in this one. Don't really have any kind of worries about them not coming out #1 in this group. Then the other team I'd like to say is Elevate. However, this other team, Celtic FC Esports, now this hasn't been a team for very long, but they acquired the boys team from the last open bracket. So I'd like to pick Elevate in this one, but I'm going to pick this Celtic FC team. This is the boys, so that's going to be Shawnee, Quicker, Bance, Nazi, and Chain. I'm picking these guys, honestly, that team and E United as the top two in this one. Elevate is a decent team, but I just don't think they have what it takes to come out top two in this one. And then the other team, RBL Esports, I've heard of one of the people on this roster, and that's being Human Jesus. Not to knock these guys, but I don't really know who any of them are, so it's unfortunate because I don't know much about them, but you know, just to do the lights of E United and the open bracket champs from last event in Celtic FC Esports, I'm going to pick those two guys in my top two in Pool A. Over to Pool B, we're going to have this one headlined by Gen G and kind of E6 in this one. But otherwise in this group, we're going to have Fuego. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. Who is BB Connor, Chaxer, Hockey, Madcat, and Harry. I've only heard of two of these guys. And then other than that, Team War, which is kind of like a European team. We got Josh, Davey, Defrag, PD, and Vortex. This one could be a really close group, honestly. You know, obviously you want to pick Gen G in this one. However, if one of these amateur teams comes out and, you know, pushes them to game 5 or somehow ends up taking maybe like a 3-1, maybe game 5, you know, like, I don't know. It's going to be a good one for sure. I mean, this probably so far is a pool of death. Obviously, it's our second pool. But this one could be pretty interesting. Obviously, E6 had some bright moments before. But you just never know. We'll see how this one turns out. But if I had to pick two in this one, we're going to go with Gen G. And we'll just go with E6. That's kind of a gamble pick for me. Although they did do well in last event. I think that was last event. Maybe it was the event before that. But E6 and Gen G come out top two in this one. Down to Pool C, we're going to have FaZe Clan headlining this one along with Units. And then we're going to have Mazer, who's a bunch of not ex-pros, but like out of the loop pros and a couple of amateurs in this one, along with Animosity. I don't even know. I've never heard of any of these players, so not sure anything about them. But probably pretty straightforward with FaZe Clan and Units. They should come out, I don't want to say easy, but they definitely should come out nice and comfortable in this first matchup. Over to Pool D, we got this one headlined sort of by Reciprocity and Team Envy. Other than this, we have Sage, who I've heard of a couple of these guys, and then we're going to have Legend, who I've never heard of any of them, I believe. Again, this one probably pretty straightforward. Sage Esports, who sells Gravity, Hollow, Vivid, and Rex. They could come out in this one. I doubt it, though. If we get another Envy who doesn't win a map the entire tournament, that's when an amateur team could come out and, you know, surprise somebody. But for at least in this one, I'm going to go straightforward here. Reciprocity and Envy, top two. Down to Pool E, with this one headlined by Luminosity Gaming and UYU. Not really so much by UYU, but other than this one, you have a couple of teams that you probably have never heard of anyone on either of these teams. No real notable names, any of them that can even, you know, bring out. But I would obviously predict LG to come out in this one. UIU, not really so confident in. Although the other teams in this pool are kind of unknown. I could probably see one of them getting top 2, only because they could probably come out and just absolutely smoke UIU. But we got LG, and we'll go with maybe like Team Singularity. Let's just go with that. I don't really know who else is even worthy of that one. But on over to Pool F. One of the favorites probably to win the tournament. 100 Thieves headline this one in Pool F. Other than that, we got Midnight Fury Gaming, who is a pretty good amateur team. They got a bunch of top AMs, I would call them. And then we have Sicario. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. That's Tommy, Chino, Proto, Exceed, and Lenny. Could make an impact, maybe not, but I definitely got 100 Thieves in this one. And I'd like to say Midnight, but again, this one could be close with the bottom 3 teams. You know, could be anyone's game in this one. But we'll go 100 Thieves and probably, let's just go Midnight in this one. But on over to Pool G now. We're going through it kind of quick. But this one headlined by none other than Optic Gaming and Evil Geniuses. Other than that, in this one we have Carnage, who has like one notable name at least that was a sub on, I think, like FaZe or something. But other than that, you have Train Hard, who's a decent European team. But honestly, I got this one pretty straightforward. Optic Gaming, Evil Geniuses in this one. It's honestly going to be a fight for that #1 spot in this one in Pool G. And I'm not exactly sure how the bracket ends up facing out, but I would assume like Pool F would have to be close to Pool G. So hopefully Optic Gaming can avoid 100 Thieves in the bracket, since they're kind of the biggest competition Optic has to deal with right now, other than all the other top teams. But on to our last pool, we got Pool H, which is headlined by Splice and Team Heretics. This one, obviously, I got Splice as that #1 guy. Heretics has been a pretty darn good team all year, but they usually go home and change something, and then they come back and suck. So I'm not exactly sure what they're going to come out in this event and do. But then we have Aspire Esports, who is a bunch of top amateur teams as well, or top amateur players, as well as Hybrid Gaming. So if all depends on Heretics, honestly. If they come out and don't show up, then it'll be a battle between second place with Heretics, Aspire, and Hybrid. But it's going to be a good event, I can tell you that. A lot of unknown names could all of a sudden be becoming an MVP for their team and performing super well. Obviously, if we're going to talk about favorites to win the event, you're going to be thinking E United, 100 Thieves. I'd like to throw Optic Gaming in that picture. However, they just did not look good at last event. So, I mean, I could biasly put them in there, but I guess we'll see how they turn up in that first matchup. I'm not sure who they're facing off against first. But hopefully they come out, you know, and just have a hot start. And at least hopefully that kind of kickstarts their tournament, gives them that confidence, and hopefully that moves them on to the winner's bracket and eventually into the money for COD Champs. But I think it's in, what, LA this year? And I'm not sure where the event is, but hopefully, you know, people come out and show up and support their teams and support Call of Duty, and hopefully this leads into franchising, and hopefully this won't be the last Champs, which will be a video upcoming here talking about, you know, all the events. And, you know, I think we already kind of briefed on it a little bit, but we'll have to talk about that more in full in a different video. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this one up here. If you did enjoy, hit the like button down below. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.